Good evening, I'm Adrienne Arsenault.
And I'm Andrew Chang. Tonight, climate change, supply chain problems, and the pandemic. They all mean your grocery bill is going to take a hit.
The perfect storm, that's what it is, really.
Food could cost you hundreds of dollars more next year, and that could push many right to the edge.
There's a huge population that is one paycheck away from getting evicted.
A Quebec community speaks out after the province's secularism law forces a teacher out of the classroom.
This is totally the wrong message to give to our children.
It's just such a shame.
Reaction from the classroom to the House of Commons.
New Zealand's ambitious plan to get a whole generation to butt out.
We want to make sure young people never start smoking.
And a rare look inside one of Canada's most precious stockpiles.
As you can see, we're not out of syrup.
A visit to the Maple Syrup Reserve. This is The National.
For months, Canadians have been watching food prices creep higher. Now we're learning that could be about to get worse.
An annual report is predicting the biggest price hike in more than a decade. So different foods are expected to jump by different amounts. Dairy products, bakery items, and vegetables, as well as restaurant foods, could increase the most, with comparatively smaller jumps in the categories of fruits, other, which includes pantry items, meat, and seafood. It could all send your annual grocery bills soaring, up by about $1,000 for a family of four, more than $400 for a senior couple, or more than $200 for a single adult. As Nisha Patel shows us, that could leave many Canadians struggling to put food on the table.
Nicola Moore knows how to stretch her grocery budget.
I understand food insecurity because I've suffered it myself.
For the single mother of three, stocking the fridge this year took a lot of energy.
Worrying about where your next meal will come from and will it be filling and healthy for your kids.
Food costs are rising thanks to high energy prices and supply chain disruptions. Climate change-fueled wildfires and droughts also have an impact, all issues that are expected to drive prices up further in 2022.
Canadians will have to get used to higher food prices. We're not going to go back to how things were.
Facing sticker shock, more shoppers are looking for sales and are cutting back on pricier products.
You're going to make different decisions both at the grocery store and at the restaurant.
Wages haven't kept up with inflation so far. That means food affordability across the country could get worse.
Food bank visits have increased by more than 20% since 2019, a trend that's likely to continue in the new year.
Toronto chef Jagger Gordon says the pandemic pushed more people to the edge.
We just basically have seen so many people come to us and through other programs that say we need help.
His answer, starting a pay-what-you-can grocery store. It offers food that businesses would otherwise waste, like imperfect vegetables, and gives more fresh choice than a traditional food bank.
We divert food from landfills and we put it back onto the tables of millions.
Moore says programs like Gordon's are essential, but so are long-term solutions like higher minimum wage.
I think there's a huge population that is one paycheck away from getting evicted, one paycheck away from not being able to pay their bills.
And she hopes these conversations will spark a little food for thought. Nisha Patel, CBC News, Toronto.
Now, there are all kinds of people who fit that scenario you just heard, already struggling to make ends meet. Julia Wong shows us what rising food prices could mean for them and for the groups already trying to help.
Fatmata Briawa moved to Edmonton from Guinea 3 years ago as a refugee. Since then, the mother of three has noticed prices going up at the grocery store.
Before, the grocery is not expensive. Now everything is expensive.
Briawa receives government assistance and relies on this food hamper program for newcomers and refugees to get by. She also volunteers there. Rising prices worry her.
That I am not feeling good because it's not easy.
The Grocery Run program helps about 550 people every week.
Research have already shown us many people are working as hard as they can, barely pay rent, and therefore no adequate budget for food.
Over at this Edmonton food bank, work is steady. Food banks have been busier during the pandemic, and now they're bracing themselves for the impact rising food costs will have on demand. The executive director says many clients are low income or on fixed incomes and may not be able to set aside an extra $1,000 to pay for groceries.
What we expect to see at the food bank is that people who are needing the services of the food bank might need us more frequently, or if somebody's just been on the edge of using the food bank, those people might need us a few times.
With rising costs, dollars will need to stretch. Experts have some tips recommending people plan out their meals, write grocery lists, and rethink their proteins.
Our meat portions, our protein portions don't need to be as large as what we think, and I think from what I'm reading, people are realizing that.
Brioa knows how hard these price increases will hit for her and those like her who are already worried about putting food on the table. Julia Wong, CBC News, Edmonton.
Now to Quebec, where a school teacher has been removed from her job because she wears a hijab. She now works in a position outside the classroom. The school board says it didn't want to do that, but the province's 2-year-old secularism law demands it. Hannah Thibodeau shows us the reaction from the Quebec community to Parliament Hill.
The messages are clear outside this school in Chelsea, Quebec. Support for Fatima Anvari, the grade 3 teacher who was removed from her classroom job for wearing a hijab.
Honestly, at that second, it was just shock. It was very hard to process.
Anvari is concerned about her safety, so CBC News has agreed not to show her face.
Kids were so confused. They saw me in the hallway and they asked me why I cannot be their teacher anymore.
The school board says it had to follow the rules of Quebec's Bill 21 that prohibits public sector workers from wearing religious symbols.
We're not in favor of this bill. We find it discriminatory. We've stated so, but as citizens of the province of Quebec, we are expected to follow the law and will do so.
It's a popular law in the province, but it's facing several court challenges. And English school boards like this one have fought for an exemption. But last month, a judge ruled the law will apply to everyone while the cases play out in the courts. One student made this card, saying she misses Ms. Anvari and thinks her hijab is awesome. Her mom says the decision shocked her.
My kids didn't know what had happened, so I had to, on the spot, try to explain to them why a teacher had lost her job because of, sorry.
The outcry made the Quebec law a hot topic in Ottawa again today.
If they want to wear a hijab, it should be their choice.
Thank you.
It's not government's business to impose what to wear and what not to wear.
Others took to Twitter to call on the federal government to act. Conservative MP Kyle Seaback calls the bill a disgrace and says it has to be opposed in the courts. And while the 3 main federal party leaders say they personally oppose Bill 21, not one of them has committed to a federal intervention to challenge it in the courts. Hannah Thibodeau, CBC News, Ottawa.
So this fresh controversy over Quebec's secularism law is putting pressure on some federal party leaders who've said they will keep their hands off it. That includes the Prime Minister. At issue, we'll look into that in about 20 minutes from now.
Also developing in Quebec tonight, a big spike in new COVID-19 cases just weeks before the holidays. This is the number that's causing concern. More than 1,800 new cases reported today. That's the highest daily total since January. Quebec has seen cases rising since the end of October, but you can see the curve has climbed noticeably faster just in the last few weeks. The good news, so far hospitalizations have remained steady, but as Alison Northcott shows us, some do worry that could change.
Rena Almonetta Chang is planning a low-key holiday season, hoping Quebec's rise in cases doesn't turn into something worse.
Maybe more plans than last winter, but still kind of on the quiet side. Yeah, like no huge parties.
It makes me nervous. I am also watching hospitalizations and ICU, and that seems to be at least mostly stable, but we're watching really carefully.
Quebec's health minister says this was expected.
We're okay so far, but I'm insisting on the people that are not vaccinated
The kids and the 70 and above, they should go for their third dose as quickly as possible.
The latest data shows cases have increased nearly 30% since last week. So far, hospitalizations and deaths have not risen as quickly, and some experts hope that's a sign this holiday season will be different than last year's.
1,800 cases last winter was a disaster because the elderly and the at-risk people were infected and they were very sick. This is not what we're seeing right now. People are not that sick because they're a lower risk group.
The message is to not forget that the pandemic is still there.
This doctor is watching nervously as projections show hospitalizations could go up.
Knowing that we're short-staffed and tired, the impact of an increase of COVID hospitalizations and ICU occupancy rate might take a toll on the system out of proportion to the actual number.
This all comes just days after the province said it will loosen restrictions for holiday gathering, allowing up to 20 people to get together inside. The push now, getting kids the shot.
When you look at what the mathematical modelers have been proposing, they're saying that if a large proportion of children 5 to 11 are able to get their first dose before the Christmas holidays, that will dampen the potential surge after the holidays.
A surge experts hope to avoid, especially with the uncertainty around the new Omicron variant. Alison Northcott, CBC News, Montreal.
A COVID-19 outbreak at a Nova Scotia university continued to grow today. Health officials are linking the cluster of cases to a well-known annual campus tradition. And as Kayla Hounsel explains, they are concerned about how far that cluster could spread.
It's an important ritual at St. Francis Xavier University, and now it's linked to nearly 60 cases of COVID-19 and counting. The school's X-ring ceremony, where students in their final year receive a ring marked with an X.
It is something that distinguishes our graduates no matter where they are in the world, and it's said to be the third most recognizable ring on the planet.
Public health officials say COVID rules were followed at the ceremony.
Before the ceremony, everyone was, for myself anyways, I was put in a room with 100 plus other people. It was a very small room. It was very hot in there as well. So some people were taking off their masks to take a breath.
After the official event, this. Also on campus, where many were not wearing masks.
We can only be guided by the rules that are put forward from our colleagues in public health. I know that there were individuals who weren't wearing masks, but they were eating or drinking as those masks weren't on the face. So that is perfectly within the guidelines.
But a bigger concern is off-campus events, house parties.
Public health is investigating, and certainly as my thoughts are clear on the need to find those that break the rules.
95% of the student body is vaccinated, and so far those testing positive have only mild symptoms. Still, anxiety is high. After some pushback, the university is proceeding with in-person exams, but giving professors the option to move them online.
It's easy for me to pivot to a take-home exam for all of my courses, and that would absolutely guarantee that my students aren't going to sit in an environment where they might be exposed to COVID.
There were also 2,000 visitors on campus. Several cases have been confirmed in Ontario and PEI in parents who had been visiting. Now everyone is hoping the outbreak is under control before students head home for the holidays. Kayla Hounsel, CBC News, Halifax.
In Ontario, 3 more public health units are urging limits on holiday gatherings this year. The Huron-Perth, Middlesex London, and Southwestern public health units are all recommending no more than 10 fully vaccinated guests. Kingston's public health unit dropped the limit to 10 last month, though provincial rules still cap private gatherings at 25 people. Ontario recorded more than 1,200 new cases today, and CBC News has learned changes to the province's proof of vaccination program will be announced tomorrow. It's expected to abandon a tentative plan to end vaccine passports in mid-January and will require all vaccine passports to include QR codes.
Some experts warn Canada isn't doing nearly enough rapid COVID-19 testing, despite having tens of millions of kits. Today, Ontario health advisors did push to get more into schools, while Quebec said it will give elementary students tests to use at home. But as Lauren Pelly shows us, your access to a rapid test in this country depends on where you live.
Are you excited at Christmas?
As Canadians get ready for the holidays, some experts are calling for more access to rapid COVID-19 tests. Tens of millions of rapid tests have been distributed to the provinces, but the latest available federal data shows the percentage of use varies widely, from close to half in Prince Edward Island to less than 3% in Quebec.
Diagnostic test is of no value if it's sitting somewhere in a cupboard. They each contain 7 tests.
This toxicologist says friends in the UK gave his family multiple packs of at-home rapid tests, since officials there hand them out for free.
We treat these tests like gold. I mean, they're very reassuring to us. I mean, we're all vaccinated, but we've got family members who are in their 70s, and so it's an extra level of security.
Some provinces offer rapid tests through schools or businesses, and in Ontario, you can pay for rapid testing at certain pharmacies. Now that province promises to expand access.
We're putting pop-up locations all in malls and shopping centers and in workplaces to make sure it's convenient for people to get tested.
Hi, here for a test?
Saskatchewan, New Brunswick, and Nova Scotia already dole out tests more broadly. In Halifax this week, health officials handed out free packs to people just walking by.
I can give you a 5-pack. I can give you a 5-pack.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thanks for coming.
It's very disturbing that
this intensive care nurse says with COVID cases ticking up in some places, more provinces should copy that approach.
We're seeing more COVID patients with COVID come into the hospitals. It's paramount that the government, takes proactive measures to provide free tests to families.
If you do manage to get your hands on some rapid tests, medical experts say it's best to test right before a family gathering. That way you can catch infections the same day before COVID-19 has a chance to spread. Lauren Pelly, CBC News, Toronto.
The Auditor General lashed out today at the government's mismanagement of 2 pandemic files, including the quarantine measures designed to keep COVID out. For all the trouble they caused for air passengers, there's a startling lack of data to show if they did any good. Rafi Boudjikanian begins with those details.
As air travelers returned to Canada in the first 6 months of this year, the government failed to keep track of 3/4 of them.
If they're going to put in a requirement, they really do need to have worked through how to monitor and enforce that requirement.
For a third, there was no checking on quarantine compliance. A third of COVID-19 test results went missing, or the feds failed to match them to travelers.
I'm concerned that the agency is unable to show us whether or not these border measures are effective border measures.
The Auditor General's report comes just as the government reintroduces some of these measures to stave off the Omicron variant.
This is too serious of a ball game for the Public Health Agency and the Liberal government to be letting the enforcement of something as important as disease control at our borders be so poorly enforced.
The government's response has been far from perfect. To Canadian travelers, I say this: plan ahead, be prepared for airport delays, have a quarantine plan.
The Auditor General also said the government failed to protect temporary foreign workers during the pandemic. Some had complained of a lack of food during COVID isolation and inadequate space to keep 2 meters apart. At least 3 workers died from COVID-19.
I think we'll never be able to tell the real cost of this. Inspections are not the issue because the inspections simply can't work because of even if they worked, even if they said an employer was non-compliant, there was no mechanism for workers to get reparation.
There too, Ottawa admits it fell short and needs to do better. With migrant workers set to arrive in the spring, any fixes by the government will soon be tested. Rafi Boudjikanian, CBC News, Ottawa.
Now to the other health crisis in this country. This year has been the worst ever in British Columbia for overdose deaths from toxic drugs, and it's not over yet. Here's Mira Baines.
BC's chief coroner paints a bleak picture.
Today we will lose 6 more people. Tomorrow we will lose 6 more people. And by Christmas we'll have lost another 40 or 50 members of our communities. And that is just not acceptable any longer.
In the first 10 months of this year alone, deaths due to opioid overdoses have surpassed the deaths from 2020, which was a record year. The coroner warns the province could see more than 2,000 people die this year, largely because of a more toxic supply.
The 201 deaths due to drug toxicity in October represent the largest loss of life experienced in a single month in the toxic drug crisis.
The solution, she says, urgently expanding the supply of safe drugs, but some doctors are hesitant in writing prescriptions.
We don't have time to wait months and years to continue to look for evidence that safe supply would work.
Both of Helen Jennings' sons died from opioid use. She says her son Tyler died using tainted drugs.
Had he had a safe supply, he might still be alive. And being alive means you can actually start to get help and look at a system of recovery.
The minister in charge admits government needs to do more.
We are so grateful for the people that are stepping forward, prescribing safe supply. And I know everybody's tired, but we are asking, again, people in healthcare and all of our health authorities to do more.
Another solution, the province has applied to Health Canada to see small amounts of drugs decriminalized.
Until and unless the government listens to us, it's not going to change.
Advocates blame a lack of political will.
I'm on methadone, and over the last year and a half, I've tried to get a bunch of people onto safe supply. It's extremely difficult.
He says until he sees big changes, the government is only paying lip service. Mira Baines, CBC News, Vancouver.
Well, New Zealand is bringing in a unique new law to get people to bud out for good.
We want to make sure young people never start smoking, so we are legislating for a smoke-free generation.
Coming up, could Canada follow suit? Plus,
Jesse, you want to say anything?
The verdict is in for actor Jussie Smollett, accused of staging a hate crime against himself. And
we're facing a maple syrup shortage this year, but fear not, we get a peek at Canada's stockpile.
With all these barrels, that sure is a lot of maple syrup.
We're back in 2.
As you can see, something other than coffee is brewing at Starbucks in the United States. Workers at a store in Buffalo have voted to unionize for the first time ever in the U.S. They say they are the face of a bigger trend in the country driven by young people.
You're looking at generations who are tired of being told that because they have a service industry job or a retail job, that they are in some way not entitled to good working conditions or good pay.
The next step now is for workers to negotiate a contract with Starbucks. Here in Canada, there's already one unionized Starbucks location in Victoria, BC.
In Chicago, former Empire actor Jussie Smollett was found guilty today for lying to police about staging a hate crime on himself. A jury found Smollett guilty on 5 of 6 counts of felony disorderly conduct. 2 brothers testified that the actor orchestrated the incident in 2019 and paid them to stage the attack. Each count carries a maximum sentence of 3 years in prison. In southern Mexico, a truck carrying more than 100 people overturned on a dangerous curve, killing at least 49 people, injuring nearly 60 others. Most of those victims are believed to be migrants from Central America. The scene of the crash is about 100 kilometers from the Guatemalan border.
Smoking rates have plummeted around the world, but the habit remains a stubborn one and a leading cause of cancer in many places. Well, today, one country moved aggressively to make sure future generations never light up. Thomas Daigle explains how New Zealand is trying to butt out for good.
It's a health hazard and a taboo habit. But around the world, smoking rates remain stubbornly higher than anti-tobacco advocates would hope. Now, from New Zealand, a plan for the whole country to butt out.
We want to make sure young people never start smoking, so we are legislating for a smoke-free generation.
New Zealand's smoke-free action plan may be the boldest in the world, barring anyone 14 and under from ever buying cigarettes, even later in life, cutting the number of stores allowed to sell tobacco, and reducing the amount of addictive nicotine allowed in cigarettes. Just the kind of measures Canadian advocates have been demanding for years.
The reduction in the number of death and disease caused by cigarettes is certainly an enormous win for public health.
In New Zealand, as in Canada, smoking remains the leading cause of preventable death. 11% of New Zealanders light up daily. The government releasing its message in the Maori language too, with a much bigger proportion of the indigenous population still smoking. Professor Becky Freeman was raised in Alberta and studied tobacco control in New Zealand for years.
You find that other nations adopt these laws as well. It's exactly what happened when Canada was the first country in the world in the early 2000s to put graphic warnings on cigarette packs. We have now over 100 nations around the world that have those graphic health warnings.
Though for owners of corner stores, tobacco remains a major source of income, and already they're warning.
It looks like a prohibition, and we know that prohibition has never worked. The gangs and criminals will fill the gap.
New Zealand's plan still has to be adopted and will take years to implement. Supporters say it's a start and could lead to change far beyond those islands. Thomas Daigle, CBC News, Toronto.
Well, next on The National, Rosie's here with Adrienne.
Hey, Andrew. Tonight we're going to look ahead to the government's fiscal update next week, what it could signal for the economic road ahead.
The emergence of the Omicron variant is a reminder that the best economic policy remains finishing the fight against COVID.
Plus, some MPs take a stand against Bill 21. Chantel, Andrew, and Althea will join all of us right after the break.
Unfortunately, some seniors who received COVID supports have seen their GIS benefits affected. Our government, very much including me personally, is very aware of this issue and is actively seeking a solution. We know that many seniors rely on GIS payments to help make ends meet, and I am confident that the government will have more to say on this issue in the next few days.
That's Chrystia Freeland addressing one of the conditions raised by other parties over the government's Bill C2, which would extend pandemic aid. It might be a signal, I think it is a signal from the finance minister today about what could come in next week's fiscal update on Tuesday. What should we be watching for? It's Thursday. I'm here with the At Issue panel, Chantal Hébert, Andrew Coyne, and Althea Raj. I'm going to start with you this week, Chantal. Obviously, this is one of the demands made by specifically the Bloc, this correction, but I wonder if it's any indication about how expansive or not this fiscal update will be on Tuesday.
I'm not sure. I think the fiscal update sounds more like a placeholder until the budget than anything else. And I think what we just heard is reassurance that the Bloc will get what it has been asking for to support Bill C2. But I do think the government's priority, notwithstanding the fiscal update, is to get the post-pandemic relief programs, whatever you call them, through before the end of next week and to the Senate in time for Christmas.
It was described to me today as a skinny update, Andrew. So I don't know if that means that this will be a short panel, but that's what it was described to me today.
Well, I mean, this is a skinny parliament, if you will. I mean, they've left it so long before they recalled parliament. They've left themselves very few days before parliament rises for the Christmas recess. So yeah, every indication we're getting is that this will not be a terribly exciting fiscal update. I think it's still an opportunity. There's always an opportunity for the government to signal that it gets it on a couple of issues. In the short term, that it gets that we have an inflation issue, a wildfire breaking out that we need to put out. That while that's primarily the Bank of Canada's responsibility, the government can buttress its credibility if it shows that it's going to get control of its finances, because otherwise people start to wonder at one point, does the bank have to bail them out again? And longer term, it has to show that it gets that we have a growth crisis in this country. We're now projecting real annual growth rates of 1.6%. That's about a third of what it was 30 years ago. And just not remotely enough to finance the kinds of social programs that we would like to finance as the population ages. That's particularly a concern for the provinces. So it ought to be a priority, though we've seen precious little evidence of it through the 6 years of this government's life, that it puts a priority on growth rather than simply redistributing amongst the existing players with the existing growth rates. So there's an opportunity. I don't think they'll take it to signal that in the fiscal update. It'll be more damning if they don't do so in the next budget.
Althea, what are you being told? What are you looking for?
Same, basically, not to be too excited about next Tuesday. In some ways, it's a table setting for the budget coming in the spring, but it's basically an update on the numbers. I think there's going to be some language around inflation that we saw in the throne speech. There was one mention where the government said, and our solution is our childcare plan and housing. And I think that there is an interest to show that the government is hearing what people are saying and that they are aware of the situation and they have an answer to it. This is not going to be a momentous occasion. Are we going to have a special? I don't know. I don't think so.
We're going to have a special, but we're not even inviting you.
There you go. So it can't be that important.
Yeah, well, just for the record, let's remember that a non-story fiscal update precipitated the parliamentary crisis in 2008. I don't think we're there, but that is what precipitated.
But that was the lesson. No, like
yes.
that was the lesson to your point that the government needs to be responsive, and the fact that it wasn't responsive, the opposition parties banded together and tried to basically take over. I don't think we're going to see that.
No,
I'd be shocked.
I don't think we're not there. But in defense of fiscal updates,
I should say I think far the more important economic decision coming up is the renewal of the Bank of Canada's mandate.
Agreed.
We're getting some word that there's going to be some slight tweaking of the existing mandate. That's semi-reassuring. But at a time when inflation is now poking near to 5%, one hopes that the signal will be sent in that decision as in others is that the government and the Governor of the Bank of Canada take this extremely seriously, and that they're not going to allow this to become entrenched and start feeding into higher and higher price increases in the years to come.
But do we have to see in the update, Chantal, to everyone's point, some indication from the government about the fact that it does realize that people's food prices are going up, because this is an issue where the Conservatives feel they are making some inroads, that this is working to some extent in terms of convincing Canadians the Liberals are not thinking about these things?
Well, if it's working outside of the parliamentary bubble, I'm still waiting for a polls to show it. I think the Liberals figure that all of this can wait for the budget in the spring, and in any event, they're not going to give you a break on the price of your turkey in the fiscal update.
Okay. Well, we have to end there because that's a good line. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back with another round of At Issue, we're going to look at a new reaction in Ottawa to Quebec's Bill 21.
To feel like you don't belong because of the way you look, and to not be able to do what you love because of the way you look. That's what's happened right now, and why this bill is so wrong.
Could this be yet another political turning point on this? That's next.
Is being challenged.
I personally oppose Bill 21 and the measures in it. And I do think we have to make sure that everyone is respectful and respected in these discussions about secularism.
Simply because of the way she looked and the way she dressed, she is no longer able to teach those kids. That is everything that's wrong with this bill.
The Prime Minister was very clear during the election campaign asked about C21 on many occasions. He was very clear about our government's position, and of course, that remains our government's position.
I'm not sure that that's the case, but we'll get everyone to weigh in. There's a renewed political reaction around the controversial secularism bill in Quebec, Bill 21. It comes after an elementary school teacher in the province was removed from the classroom for wearing a hijab. So what does this mean for the debate around the law? Could it move anything? Chantal, Andrew, Althea, all back for another round. We've had this conversation so many times. I think what's interesting here is a concrete example of how Bill 21 works. And then some interesting reaction, including from a handful of Conservative MPs, including Kyle Seaback, who said that it is a, quote, disgrace and that he can't keep silent. There were a bunch of other Conservative MPs who jumped on that too. What are we to make of this different or renewed reaction to Bill 21, Chantal?
For one, this is not going to get resolved in the House of Commons. It will be resolved in the courts, and at some point, it will be resolved in the Supreme Court, and I can't predict what the outcome of that will be. Along the way, the federal government of the day will be asked whether to intervene, take part in the challenge. The Conservatives, and that is why Erin O'Toole will probably find this a major headache, he has vouched publicly never, if he became Prime Minister, to associate himself with a challenge of a provincial law. Now, as far as I can tell, the Liberals, including MPs from Quebec, are pretty united in the notion that they oppose this bill and that they would support the federal government joining a court challenge at some point. I think that's also true mostly of the NDP. So the Conservatives have a problem because the MPs who most support Bill 21 outside of the Bloc Québécois sit in the Conservative caucus. The reason I responded that way to Chrystia Freeland was because it took a while for the Prime Minister to say in the last election, okay, well, yes, we might consider a point where we would intervene. When do we get to that point, Andrew? Or when do we get to a point where people feel comfortable saying this doesn't work for us in this country and here's what we're going to do about it?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think the position was particularly clear. I'm not even sure it's a position. So for her to reassert that the position is clear and it's still the position, I think just simply added to the fog. But it's the closest thing we've got to any kind of statement from any of the federal leaders about what they would do about this. It has really been a display of quite disgraceful, to use that word, political and moral cowardice from our federal leadership on this. Yes, it will probably be resolved in the courts. But there's a climate of opinion outside the courts that's also important. It's about what we are as a country, what kinds of things we stand for or won't stand for as a country. This bill amounts to a kind of segregation, let's call it for what it is, certainly on religious grounds and not coincidentally on racial grounds, that if you are a member of an observant religious minority, you will not be hired for significant sections of public sector employment in Quebec. That is, it should be, intolerable. And people in positions of leadership ought to say so and not, prance around with, oh, we don't want to interfere with provincial matters, etc. We like to compare ourselves quite often in this country favorably to the United States, but the United States quite long ago said, when it comes to this kind of discrimination and segregation, it's not going to be just a states' rights matter. That this goes to the heart of what is the American understanding and the American compact. I'm not sure why we are so afraid to say so in Canada.
Thea, your thoughts?
So I agreed with everything that was said. I don't think the law will be resolved out in the public sphere, but I think what has happened today that is really noteworthy is that Conservative MPs have publicly come out to defend a position that is in opposition to their leader's position. So that tells you two things. One, it tells you that Erin O'Toole is quite weak. It also tells you that there are people who feel like this is an issue that is fundamental to them and that they have more chances of getting reelected by carving out an independent stance on this issue than on following their leader's advice. What struck me was not that Kyle Seaback came out publicly, although I found that surprising because MPs have told me that Mr. Seaback has been speaking about this issue in caucus. This is not the first time he's pronouncing his opinion on this, that in fact he believes that the Conservative Party should take out a strong position against Bill 21 and that this would be a perfect wedge against the Liberals. And frankly, I agree with them. And so the Liberals are kind of squeezed. The Conservatives, despite Aaron O'Toole's previous statements, could change this dialogue if they choose to.
Chantal,
no,
yep.
they couldn't. Not without having François Legault say, I'm sorry I ever told you to back these people. Not if they want to hang on to their Quebec caucus. Their Quebec MPs...
Hang on, Chantal,
Whoa. Their Quebec MPs were out today saying, no, we are fully behind Quebec's right to do Bill 21. I actually believe that if it came to a Quebec caucus having to walk the talk of challenging Bill 21, the Liberal Quebec caucus is much more likely to do that than the Quebec Conservative caucus. Not going to happen.
Okay, well, that was way. There's a lot going on in our conversation. I think we'll come back to it because it's not the first time we've talked about it. Thank you all for your strong and forceful opinions. Appreciate it. Before we go, we want to remind you that we want to hear from you, from the pandemic response to the federal election. Hey, remember that? Everything in between. You can send us your political questions about 2021, what you want to know about what the next year could bring, and these smart people will answer it. Email us at thenational@cbc.ca. You can reach us on Instagram. And we'll put your questions to the At Issue panel in the coming weeks. Now back to Adrienne and Andrew in Toronto.
All right, thank you, Rosie. Coming up next, we take you inside the vault that holds Canada's liquid gold.
I wouldn't try and break in. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, you heard the man. Plus.
You could call it Christmas in the Cretaceous period. A London museum gets festive. Stay with us. Well, an overnight dump of snow had people in parts of the Maritimes digging out today. Up to 40 centimeters fell in parts of Nova Scotia, forcing schools to close and some chaos on the roads, too. The same system is also hitting Newfoundland and Labrador with strong winds and up to 30 centimeters of snow expected in St. John's by midnight. Well, you could call it Canada in a can, liquid Canada, even Canadian gravy. And of course, it's globally popular. Canada produces most of the world's maple syrup. But when a shortage this past fall forced producers in Quebec to tap into Canada's emergency reserves, it made headlines around the world and practically turned that golden liquid into gold itself. Today, they opened up the vault to reporters, and our Sarah Levitt was there.
Welcome to Laurierville, a small, unassuming town about a 2 hours drive from Montreal. It's got its church, its bank, its library, and an emergency reserve of maple syrup. Wait, what? That's right, the world's only emergency supply of that oh-so-sweet sticky stuff, stockpiled here for the last 21 years.
As you can see, we're not out of syrup.
It's a strategic move by Quebec maple syrup producers to ensure no Canadian ever has to deal with a lack of syrup at the breakfast table.
We take syrup off the market when it's in the surplus, when there's no home for it. We put it in the white barrels here. We store it, and when it comes time, we have a year like this year where sales went up, production went down a bit, we're able to fill the market.
Every single one of these barrels has about 272 kilos of maple syrup inside. I've done a little bit of math, and that's the equivalent of about 400 cans. With all these barrels, that sure is a lot of maple syrup. About 45 million kilograms in all, say the producers. They're tapping into about half of it after a less than stellar year of production and after worldwide demand rose about 20% each of the last 2 years. It's a significant chunk from the reserve, but producers say it's serving its purpose.
I feel that next December when we talk, people will still be putting maple syrup on their pancakes. Okay. I don't believe we're going to have to resort to Aunt John Mimer or corn syrup.
Oh, and for those of you who remember the great maple syrup heist of 2012, when thieves stole $30 million worth of the sticky stuff from a warehouse in Montreal, don't worry about this place. What's security like here?
I wouldn't try and break in. That's all I'll say.
Sarah Levitt, CBC News, Laurierville, Quebec.
So good. You are never too old to get into the holiday spirit, even if you're so old you're prehistoric. How this creaky T-Rex got the perfect Christmas sweater. Next. Well, we have all heard of ugly Christmas sweaters, but what about a gorgeous giant one made for a T-Rex? So, of course, not something you see every day, but that is exactly what the staff at London's Natural History Museum managed to pull off with a little help. Tonight, their accomplishment is our moment. The goal, dress up the museum's ferocious-looking T-Rex just in time for the holidays. Getting that done, though, proved to be a challenge. The custom knitting of that jumper alone took about 100 hours to complete, a task done by a family-run company north of London. And a small army needed to fit the enormous sweater. It's 12 times heavier than the human version. But in the end, staff managed to deck out the king of the dinosaurs in a festive masterpiece. Museum visitors cannot get enough. Posts of the nearly life-size animatronic dino have flooded social media, with some taking the opportunity to show off their own holiday gear. And for those looking at this and seeing fashion inspiration, the museum has made a human-sized version available at the gift shop, of course.
I'm glad they did show the process, though, because I did wonder when I saw the finished product, did they make a sweater and then put it on over its head? But you see, there's a zipper on the back.
Well, you're not getting a turtleneck over that big head.
I guess not.
This amazing thing is made out of recycled wool and plastic bottles, as you do when you're making a sweater for a dino.
T-Rex sweater, yeah.
That is the National for December the 9th. Good night.
Good night.